Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ne0 Gets to Know series where I get to know a variety of pros from multiple different scenes. And of course, today I'm joined by Endpoint's youngest superstar to join the roster, Boros. How you doing, man?
Hello guys. I'm doing good. How are you?
Can't complain. It's good to finally have you on. We finally found a time as well where we can both.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, your schedule at the
Yeah,
moment's insane, right? I mean, we were
yeah,
speaking about this. It's back-to-back games, basically.
yeah. It's so busy now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean, the first thing we get started with, as the time of recording, as of yesterday, you've qualified for IEM, right? You're going to LAN. How's that feel?
yeah. We are going to LAN. It feels so good to play in LAN, like my first LAN event.
It's the
It's
first
feeling
ever.
so good. Yeah, I'm so excited. Like outside of Jordan, it's my
Yes,
first
yeah.
LAN.
So,
Yeah.
have you had any sort of plans or ideas what's going to happen around that? Do you know what the sort of thing is, or you're waiting to hear back from Endpoint about how it's going to happen with you kind of flying across?
I don't know anything until now. I'm just fixing
Yeah.
the visa, for
Yes.
for the LAN.
Yeah, I
So
remember. Yeah, you remember you saying. Well, we'll get straight into it. So, I guess
yeah,
a standard thing was how did you, I guess, go from just being any guy in Jordan to now being one of sort of the best up and comers, joined Endpoint, a top 30 team. Like, how did they go from
yeah.
just being a standard guy in Jordan to now in one of the top 30 teams?
Yeah, it feels so good. Like I was with Nasser and I decided to leave,
Mhm.
and I just instead I got invited to FPLC and got FPL, then just came in Endpoint. Like it feels
Ah,
so
okay.
good.
So was it off the back of FPL? Do you think that the sort of Endpoint invite came across? Like you put good performances in FPL, and do you think it came because of then?
Mm, no, I think my stats was so good like in entry role,
Mhm.
So like they checked my stats and they checked like my games that I played in HLTV,
Yeah.
and of course like the FPLC thing and qualifying to FPL it
Right.
helped me,
Yes.
and yeah. So because of that, like they said like I can be so good entry fragger, so they just
Perfect.
got me.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's like sort of the dream come true. And
yeah,
so I guess like you mentioned about sort of the FPLC and then FPL as like kind of one way, but what was it like and how did it come across of like you just playing with your friends in Jordan, kind of growing up to now being like a professional player? Well, for you, was it kind of as you mentioned the FPLC route and then FPL, or was it kind of you were practicing with Nazar and those kind of things? Like how did they come about? Like going from just being in the pugs of your friends, then joining teams and actually competing in competitions.
I wanted like to be professional like with my scene, with
Mm-hmm.
our region, but unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just like tried my way now in international scene like EU,
Yes.
like Europe. So yeah, but like I wanted to be with my region,
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
but like I had a lot of problems, so I
Mm-hmm.
just decided to leave and continue like in international scene.
Yeah. Can you sort of elaborate on like what the sort of problems were in your national scene?
Mm, like there were some players just like fighting in
Oh
the
yeah,
team,
yeah.
yeah, and just fighting, and it wasn't fun to play.
I can
Like not
imagine.
even fun. Like it wasn't like how can we go like pro? Like I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
yeah, like how we can like be professional player when we are just fighting. We are not
Yeah.
fixing our miss, you know.
Yeah.
So I said like it's this place is not for me,
Yeah.
and I just left.
Hey, well things are going well
'Cause
now, so I mean you're
yeah,
in
things
Endpoint,
are
so
going well.
exactly. In
Yeah,
Endpoint, just qualify for LAN. I mean, I think you made probably the
yeah,
right decision, right? Um,
yeah, right.
how tough was the transition from kind of just being a normal player in like a pug, or I guess in FPL to a degree, to like then going into
Yeah,
Team CS:GO? I think because it's completely different, right? In a pug, you can sort of do things your own way if you want to, just go run and kill. But in sort
yeah.
of a team basis, you have to stick to your role and you have to do stuff for the team. So how difficult was that transition?
Yeah, it was very difficult in the beginning.
Hmm.
Because of that, we were like losing to some like not good teams.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and my role was like so different between me
Mhm.
and Mizzy.
Right.
So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, so in the beginning we were like losing and we were not in the same page.
Yeah.
So we just needed time and now we are here. And yeah, like I didn't play like officials for 3 months. So,
Sure.
so that might like affect me, playing only
Yeah.
pugs. So
Because
yeah,
I
I
think
just needed.
in pugs you're really aggressive, aren't you? Like it's in general, like,
Yeah,
and most players are. You kind of just do your own thing, go and click heads. But I guess in a
yeah,
team's thing, you actually have to do stuff for the team as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I just needed time, like in the beginning, but now it's
Exactly.
good.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Things going very well. So,
Great.
how did
Yeah.
your professional experience begin in CS:GO? I know you played with Ne0 for a bit, and you had two different stints with them, if I'm right in saying. You were with them for a bit, and then if I'm right in saying, you benched yourself, and then went back for a bit, and then of course Endpoint after that. So were they your first sort of kind of proper team professional sort of thing within CS:GO?
Yeah. Like you mean? Can you repeat like what?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
So
this question?
just so when did your sort of professional experience begin in CS:GO? So I know you were with Ne0 as of course before Endpoint, and you had sort of two different kind of sections when you were with them. You were with them for a bit, then benched yourself, from right in saying, and then you were with them for a couple more months before joining Endpoint. But was Ne0 the first sort of professional sort of team environment you had, or was there any like kind of smaller teams before that?
You know, I didn't have like before this team.
Hmm.
Like we were in the same like roster with Nasser before that.
Right. Yeah.
We were like OG3 OD, and we
Right.
qualified like for a LAN. Then we just like when we qualified for a LAN, just Nasser came and tell us you wanna join our organization, and we joined.
Right.
And yeah, so that's our like first professional team, I would
Yeah.
say.
And that was your sort of first. So how old are you when you joined? Were you 16?
No, I was 15.
15, that's such a young
Yeah,
age. So I'm
yeah, when
assuming
I qualified.
you used to be the youngest on the team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to. Yeah.
So when did you start playing CS:GO then? How old do you think when you started?
Start maybe like 12 years old or 11.
Okay.
I start to play, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was playing a lot in Face It, like a lot.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So for you, it was like kind of
Yeah,
you straight into face it. Really was kind of how you got from when you were 12 years old to 15. Going 15,
yeah,
being signed for an org which is pretty well known. I mean, it's even known across here,
yeah,
right? So that's a big thing. Such a young age.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, who was your sort of influence coming through? Was there any sort of pro players you looked to, or any people like even within your scene,
Mm, like look to like what?
as in
Like
like an idol, like some people like to look
idol,
towards
yeah.
like Fallen or like Device, like
Yeah, yeah,
these big
yeah,
time,
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I don't have like an idol, but I
Mm,
would say like don't know, I like maybe like from pro players like Rifles, maybe Elige or
yeah.
like Nico. I like to watch him
Okay.
and
Yeah. So
yeah,
really
maybe
crisp.
Nico is my idol,
Yeah.
but not like really, you know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Crisp aimers,
Yeah,
basically, people who are just, I
yeah,
mean, and high sense as well to a degree with Elige. So kind of sort of similar to
yeah,
you as well in that sense.
yeah, right.
Hmm. So in terms of like the scene in Jordan, what is it like in comparison to the scene we get over here with like EU/UK scene?
Um, I don't think like it's like there is a big scene in our like in Jordan,
Mm,
because like there's only one tournament in the year, like only
right.
Blast.
Yeah.
Like there is not no a lot of tournaments,
Mm,
and I don't know. It's really difficult, like Blast thing.
yeah.
Like it's like one tournament in the year, and it's 25K, and it's
Yeah.
all for the organization, like
Right.
zero for the players.
Yeah.
I like I don't know. I don't think there is like a lot of support
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
scene,
So
I would say.
it's a lot smaller then, like considerably smaller, you'd say.
Yeah,
Mm.
so much smaller.
And I
Yeah.
guess for players from Jordan, is the goal to like do well in Jordan, but then like yourself move to EU, like to an international team? Is that always the goal for like pro players from Jordan?
In the beginning, it wasn't my goal, but
Mm.
like I said to you, I would like to make it with like our region, like
Yeah. Yeah.
me and a team, but it didn't work, and I just went international, like I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And of course it's worked. So far, I guess no real complaints.
yeah,
What drew you to sort of CS:GO more than some other games? I guess I mean you haven't really been playing too long. Of course, it's like Dota, Rainbow Six Siege, League of Legends, and I
yeah,
guess even to a degree Valorant as well. So what kind of drew you to
yeah.
CS:GO over all of them?
I don't know. I was like there was an internet cafe,
Yeah.
in my city, and I was just going with friends, and I saw like everyone was playing like 1.6,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was just playing it, and then like CS:GO, like I just quit like after it like for 2 years. Then I
Mhm.
came back. There was CS:GO.
Yeah.
Then I started playing CS:GO.
Ah. Okay. So
Like I like shooting games. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. And it
Yeah.
was a kind of like because you went with your friends as well. So it was kind of you're
Yeah.
having fun with your friends while kind of getting better at this game at the same time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly that. So So yeah, how did your time in like your previous team? Because you mentioned that at NASA it was a bit of a rough ending overall, right? But how did your time in NASA build your experience as a player, kind of improve your sort of ability when working within a team and those kind of things, and help you actually to further your career and of course now join Endpoint?
Yeah, yeah, it was a good experience, and I learned like a lot from this experience
Mhm.
too, from my time playing with Nasser. And I just would say like it was a bad ending, but
Mhm.
everything else was good.
Good, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
That's
just
the
that.
thing, yeah. I mean, and of course, the experience has helped you now start
Yeah,
performing very well, right? In Endpoint, it's part and
yeah, right.
parcel of
It
that.
helped me. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Of course.
How big of a step was it though, going from NASA, who to be fair, they're a pretty decent org as well in themselves, and they've had some very like strong performing sort of runs through like some tournaments. But how
You
big
mean
of a step?
Endpoint?
No. How big of a step was it going from NASA to Endpoint?
Yeah, yeah. It was a big step for me.
Yeah.
Like I was so much happy
Hmm.
when like they talked to me that they are interested in me.
Hmm.
I was so happy and I wasn't thinking about anything else.
Yeah, I
I
can
just
imagine.
wanted to join. Yeah,
Yeah. Were
it
you
was a big.
nervous at all coming in?
Uh, no, not
No.
really.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, not
The
really. No.
confidence. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But so in terms of the team style as well, of course they play Nazar and Endpoint play two different like completely different styles of play. Is there
yeah,
Was that a big kind of thing you had to really start to learn? Of course, you mentioned you and Mezzi played different roles, but
yeah.
coming in was that really tough, kind of transitioning from what you did with Nazar to now coming to Endpoint?
No, it like in the beginning, of course, it was hard, but
Mm,
like until we wasn't like in the same page because of
yeah.
that we were losing or a bit like not consistent, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now like we changed like our play style, I would say. Like
Yeah.
everything was changed because Messi is so like passive player and I am so
Yes.
aggressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't working in the beginning,
Right.
but
Yeah, that makes
now
sense.
everything is good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we are on
Exactly.
the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. How was it as well? Kind of. So obviously with Nazar, I'm assuming you probably spoke Arabic, right? So how
Yeah.
big of that transition was it to now speaking English? Is that being difficult for you? I mean, obviously your English is very good, but has that been another thing that's been like slightly difficult, or has it been okay?
Actually, we were speaking English in Nasser
Oh, really? Okay.
because yeah, Bibo like he's from Iraq but he live in Italy, but
Right.
he doesn't speak Arabic at all. Like he just
Okay. Sure.
understand, but we wasn't like speaking Arabic communicating.
Right. Okay.
So it wasn't like a big difference for me
Oh, so
because
it's
I
something you're
was
used to then.
yeah, I'm used to speak English like in game. So it's fine for me. It
Oh
was
yeah, I
fine.
can imagine. Yeah, completely fine. I was under the assumption because of course you're from Jordan, but yeah, that makes complete sense. If you're used to it, I mean, it probably wasn't a big
Yeah,
step at all. Really, it was completely
yeah, it
normal.
wasn't. No, normal.
So, what are your sort of personal goals, kind of coming through? Of course, you've now joined a top organization, top 30 in the world currently. Just qualified for LAN as well. But personally, for you, what are your goals, kind of not even just the next year, but in the future of CS:GO? Some players like to look towards, getting the HLTV top 20. Is that something that for you, or what are you looking for?
My goal is maybe to play like in the top tournaments of CS and try
Mhm.
to win them, of course. Like I would like to play against the top teams like
Yeah.
ESL Pro Leagues, like this
Yes.
tournament.
Yeah.
And I just like want to prove myself like
Mhm.
even more. I just want to play against them and just prove myself and
Yeah.
try to win everything.
There we go.
Just that's my goal.
Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
a similar question to that is with Endpoint, do you have any goals as a roster, kind of what you're looking for? Of course, normally a lot of teams like to want to say, okay, we want to be top 30. You've already done that. You've now also qualified for LAN as well. So what are your
Yeah.
sort of goals? You seem to be achieving everything at the moment. So what are the goals kind of going forward?
Maybe our goal is to make it top 8 in the IAM LAN,
Yes,
to
yeah.
make it to the major maybe until now.
Hmm.
That's our goal. And maybe like to make ESL Pro League from ESA.
Yeah.
Like that's our set roles for now.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Because obviously you're in Premier at the moment, and so far it's been a pretty decent in Premier.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
So
pretty
Pro
decent.
League is definitely something that is in contention. Of course, that would be huge, right? You said
Yeah,
you want to play against the best teams. That's the perfect place
yeah.
for it. Is there any team
Yes.
in particular that you like really want to play against in that sort of top teams?
Mm, maybe maybe G2. I want to play against them,
Okay. Yeah, well,
and
Nico.
Vitalik.
So
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, I want to play against them.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean, what's it going to be like when you like eventually kind of play against those sort of, I mean, crazy tons of people? I mean, you mentioned Vitality. I mean, playing against a player like Zywoo. I mean, that's going to be it's going to be difficult to say the
yeah,
least. But I guess like
yeah.
you said, you're not nervous, right? So is it something you're more
No,
excited for?
yeah, I'm so excited, and I want to prove myself, like told you. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just so excited to play against them.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
And I guess the last question, just in terms of CS:GO, is how good does it feel to have lands back? And of course, we've already sort of mentioned you'll go into a LAN, but how good in general does it feel to have it back? It's your first ever LAN, so that's going to be a big thing for you. There is a sort of thing where some players they get to LAN on a stage with like maybe potentially a crowd there, feel a bit of
yeah,
nerves. You mentioned you're not nervous at all so far. Do you think
yeah.
it's going to keep the same when you're on LAN?
Yeah, I think it will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm so excited, and it feels so fucking good to play
I
in
can
LAN
imagine.
against the top teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to it. Like I'm so excited for it.
That's the plan. And
Yeah,
I guess for getting ready for LAN as well, are you going to be
yeah.
boot camping at all?
We will not be boot camping.
Mm-hmm.
Like until now, we are like I have a lot of like problems. Like maybe with visa, I'm
Yeah,
trying
tough.
to fix it.
Yeah,
So I think we don't have like time to go to boot camp, then go to the LAN.
yeah, that makes sense.
Because we
That
have
makes
only
sense.
1 week like from now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but hopefully, all the visa problems should be completely fine by
yeah,
then.
yeah. It will be. Yeah,
Just
it
waiting for
will be fine.
confirmation, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just doing like the thing
All
for
the
the visa.
boring stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
so let's talk about sort of your sort of personal life. So outside of esports and outside of just CS:GO in general, what are your sort of hobbies and stuff that you like, your interests and stuff that you like doing?
um, I don't know. I don't have like something like football or something. I
Yeah.
don't like.
Is CS:GO like the
Uh,
majority of what you do?
yeah,
Yeah.
the majority it's these go. Yeah.
Mm. So when you're not in officials, do you spend a lot of time kind of like face it and those kind of things, like grinding FBL?
Mm, not the. Yeah, I spend a lot of time like playing deathmatch and like
Yeah.
just improving my. Yeah, like improving my game.
Mhm.
And yeah, just like this,
Yeah.
things like that.
Imagine you're a professional, and of course you got to keep up that standard. So yeah, it
Yeah,
makes exact sense. What does a daily routine look like for you? Of course, you mentioned at the moment your schedule is so busy. You have so many games coming up. So
yeah.
give me a sort of a schedule which involves like an official at some point in the day.
Like my daily routine, maybe
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the team, you mean,
yes,
or
yeah.
only me?
Oh,
Okay.
only you. Like if you have like a warm up routine that you do at a certain time, like an hour before a game or whatnot.
Yeah. Like when we have a game, I like to like do go to just like have a walk, for 30, 40 minutes,
Yeah,
and then I just like come and play deathmatch like for 1 hour before the game.
sure.
Then I just be ready for it.
Ah, okay,
Or
so it's
yeah,
death matches
but
like your thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
deathmatch, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with the team, like when we have a match like um, like we kind of prepare for the enemy like a lot, like in
Sure.
the server offline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, like
Yeah.
just preparation for them.
So a big part of Endpoint's kind of playstyle is sort of counter stratting, right? Is from what you've explained, you kind of understand what your opponent is coming into a game and that kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. It's like preparation for the enemy.
Yes.
We always like play. I would say like how the enemy play. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Like yeah, like this.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and that's a thing that all the top teams do to get an advantage. So
Yeah, of
you have
course,
to
yeah.
know it. Yeah. So what was life like growing up in Jordan? What was it like in general? What did, you said you liked to go to internet cafes and stuff when you were younger, but in general, what was it like growing up there?
Growing up there,
Oh, you're growing up in Jordan, yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's normal.
Normal,
Like
yeah.
there is nothing special. Like
Hmm.
just like normal life. I don't know how to
Normal
tell
life.
you.
So
Yeah,
you're only 17, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 17.
So what is it like? I know because in England, so you have to stay in school until 18. Is that different in Jordan?
Yeah. In
So
Jordan, you have to stay in school until you're 16. Like until you're
16,
18,
right?
you finish school in
Hmm.
Jordan when you're 18.
Sure,
So until you're 16, then you can like say if you want to go or not.
sure.
But I just stopped like for this year. Then I will continue like later.
Oh, okay.
But
So
I,
you're
I
taking a year out, kind of thing.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. because I can't like do the last year like and focus in CS at the same time, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
It will be
it's
so hard
too
for me.
busy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You'll be getting like 3 hours sleep a night if you're trying to do both of them at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It will be fucked up. Yeah,
Yeah. No way it's happening. It makes sense. Um,
yeah.
was it hard convincing your parents and your family about going professional in CS:GO, or were they on board from the get go?
No, it was so hard,
Yeah, I can
and
imagine.
yeah, it was so hard. Like especially like when you're from Jordan, you know,
Hmm.
like they don't know anything about esports, like your family. And
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, and Nasser, like my old like teammates, you know, they
Hmm.
helped me a lot with that to
Yeah.
talk with my family or something. So I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. And now are your
Yeah,
family? They're all on board. They understand
yeah,
roughly what you do. Yeah.
yeah. Now they start understanding more.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
case. It's all just about like letting them know roughly what you do. You kind of got to
yeah,
slowly explain because I mean, for
yeah,
the older generation, esports they have no idea really.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like they were telling me like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're playing 7 hours a day,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and to just playing video games. They were like laughing at me every
Hmm.
time I tell them.
But
Then now
now,
it's normal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now
Now
it's good.
you're flying out for LAN in a couple of weeks. You're on a
Yeah,
top 30 team. So he's laughing now. Things are going well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So obviously you mentioned you're only 17 years old, right? Still so young,
yeah,
right? And of course you've kind of just started really breaching into professional CS:GO, and of course with such a young age you've still got a long career ahead of you. For the time being, of course, professional CS:GO is your dream, right? And that's kind of what you want
yeah.
to do,
Of
yeah.
course.
And
Yeah, that's my dream.
kind of post that, I know it's a long way in the future. Have you had any thoughts about what you'd like to do, kind of after your playing career is done? Would it be like coaching or staying within the scene itself in terms of like an analyst role, or would you step away entirely?
I don't know until now. I didn't think
Yeah.
about it like until now. So like I can't say anything
Hmm.
like what I want to be like coach or analyst. I don't know.
Could you ever imagine yourself being a coach?
No, I never.
No. Yeah. It's a
No.
tough one, I think. A tough role.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. But I didn't imagine myself like.
Yeah. So you mentioned obviously we kind of briefly spoke about it, but you've taken a year out from school. Is the plan to like kind of regardless? Let's say you're still playing with Endpoint, still doing really well. Would you still definitely go back to school, or let's say if Endpoint qualified for the major, would then you just kind of for now at least forget about school because you're playing CS:GO at that tier one level, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think if like from now until 1 year we are like top 15 or top 10 in the
Sure.
world, I'm not gonna go back to school, of course.
It's no need,
Like
is it?
yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe I can do it later, you know, but it's
Yeah.
important, but maybe I can do it later. Like I don't need
Exactly.
to do it like right now.
It's not important. Yeah, especially if you start going to like a major competing, pro league. You mentioned those kind of. If you reach those goals, which so far it seems
Yeah,
that Endpoint are kind of reaching every goal they want. That
yeah,
there's. I mean, school's very good, very important. Kids, if you're watching, go to school. But
yeah,
if you've got a career here, so you may as well take it.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And well, we're into now the last section, which is just the questions from sort of Twitter and Reddit. I mean, we've got a decent amount of some quite cool
yeah.
ones. So first of all, I think a good question that I like to ask sort of every person I interview: what are your sort of honest thoughts on Valorant?
Valorant,
Hmm.
I tried it. I think it's bad game. Like I don't like it.
What about it don't you like?
I think it's like more like not for talented people. Like it's I don't know. I feel everyone can be good in it. I don't know
Ah,
why.
okay. Do you
It's
mean
not like
it's
CS:GO.
easy?
Like you have skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's more easier. Like
Hmm.
it's helping noobs. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a common one. I think a lot of people think
Yeah.
that it is like really easy to get into it and get to like a fairly decent level. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. I think. Yeah.
so. You're never going to
It's
be
so much
tempted.
easier than CS:GO.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think be. I'll switch to Valorant any
No,
day.
yeah. I think that's
No.
probably. I think you're doing all right. You don't need to at the moment. um,
Yeah.
so, who is the best player you've ever played with, and the best player you've ever played against, in your opinion?
Uh, the best player I played with,
Hmm.
I uh, I don't have anyone. Like maybe.
It could be an FPL maybe, or probably some
Oh,
decent players there. It doesn't have to be just in teams as well. You probably play with some decent players in FPL.
yeah. Maybe Simple in FPL, of course. I played with him.
Ah, what was it
Yeah.
like playing with Simple?
yeah, it was good, but sometimes he was trolling, you know. He didn't care about the game.
Yeah.
And but it's simple, no one can say anything, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, he doesn't care, but he'll still drop like
Yeah.
20 kills at least.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah, he dropped 30 kills, but he doesn't care. He have money, he just buy Deagle, you know, and he
yeah,
just like he's killing everyone.
he's just a
I'm not
beast.
saying like trolling, but like
He's just a
he's
beast.
not like yeah, he's so fucking good. He's fucking beast.
He's not
Yeah,
human, is he? He just
yeah,
isn't.
he's not a human really. Like
And who's the best player you've ever played against? Probably like, in this one, the best player you've ever played against in terms of an official. So I guess with Endpoint or Ne0.
maybe like in practice or like maybe in officials only.
Either practice or officials. Yeah.
Yeah, we played like against maybe simple too, like in practice, but
Oh, okay.
in officials maybe like Shiro or Axile
Oh,
because we
yeah.
played against them in
Gambit.
Gambit like
Yeah.
in a blast.
And they're
Yeah,
crazy good as well. They're like those guys are kind of the next. I mean, even Simple's still young, but
yeah,
those guys are just coming through now and are just ridiculous. So yeah,
yeah, they are
makes
so good.
sense. Um,
Yeah,
so why is Counter Strike in Jordan so big compared to quite a few other Middle Eastern countries where you don't really hear about it too much?
yeah. Maybe because like before like 2 years there was a good scene, like I would say,
Yeah,
like better than the other countries in Middle East.
sure.
Like there was like Chosen Five, if you know this team.
Yes, oh yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like Isa and Zero Cool, and
Hmm.
maybe because and yeah, so maybe they were like growing up the scene, you know, more
Sure.
than the other countries, I would say.
Yeah, right, okay, cool. So the scene was just generally just bigger, and the players, of course, there was some. I mean, when you got players like Issa kicking about as well, it's always gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so go on here. I think this one's briefly been answered, but someone asked, "Why do you not have a phone?"
I I got a phone.
Hey,
Uh,
so what was the
Yeah,
story behind that one? I remember it was Endpoint Pete you asked about that.
yeah, in Pete, yeah. I like in the beginning when I was playing with Nasser, I didn't want to buy a phone. Like, why should I buy a phone when
Hmm.
I'm just sitting in the PC? You know, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can answer in the PC.
hmm
You know, but like now I will travel alone. You know,
sure.
like I will yeah I'll start traveling alone. I'll start going to LAN.
You need
Like
it. Yeah,
yeah, I need it. Yeah,
yeah,
but before I don't think I need it like that much. Like right
sure.
now, you know.
And now I guess are you in the WhatsApp chat? I think that was mentioned as well.
What?
Are you in the WhatsApp chat? I think someone mentioned that in the comments, like the group WhatsApp, the team WhatsApp.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I there was two groups, you know.
Yeah,
There was one for the players like alone,
sure.
and one with the players and like owners, you know, like
Yes.
Pete and
Yeah.
Adam. Yeah, so I wasn't in that, you know, in the
Okay, sure.
like with them. So they didn't know that I bought a phone, but the other,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Now it's
Yeah,
sorted though. Now you're all good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's all good.
um, someone asked, "What's it like playing on 1,000 ping in pro games and still dropping 33 kills?"
I don't know. I have high ping, like it's
Mhm.
70,
Yeah.
but
Is
it's
it
like
tough?
playable. Like yeah, like if you are used to it, I would say
It's
like
okay.
it's still lagging, but of course it's like it's okay, it's fine,
Mhm.
you know. But yeah, it's not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Like it's not that much.
Yeah, and I guess it's
L-
going to be a bit of like a shock though when you do go to LAN and you go from being 70 ping normally to then going to like what,
Five.
yeah, 5 ping. So that's going to be
Yeah,
a big difference.
yeah, it would be big difference. It would be amazing. Like
Yeah, you're
I
gonna be
never.
even crisper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Everything will be good. So excited.
yeah. So another one is Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. Who
Maybe
do you think's
Cristiano
better?
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Do you support a football team at all?
No, not that much.
Not that much.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
be like
I
Ronaldo
don't.
better.
Yeah, of course, Ronaldo is better.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
someone asks, how can they shoot only head and what do you eat?
Oh, that's the mentor.
Yeah.
Uh, what should I say? I don't know.
What do you eat? What about that? What do you like to eat? What's your favorite food?
Uh, Maybe Jordanian food, but
Hmm.
it's called mansaf, you know.
Okay.
But maybe like like from like delivery or something. I just
Hmm.
like to eat burger or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
yeah, maybe start shooting better.
Exactly. There we go. Eat burgers. You'll be better at the game.
Yeah.
Is there any difference in terms of your preparation and your practice with Endpoint compared to what you had in NASA?
Yeah, there is a difference, but
Mhm.
not a big difference. Like I would say they like know how to prepare for the enemy more. Like when we have a
Sure.
game, like they prepare for them better. I would
Sure.
say.
Okay. Cool. And is
Like
is the
yeah,
schedule more intense for preparation and practice? You do more with Endpoint than you do with NASA?
actually we do more in Nasser than Endpoint.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So how much did you
but
practice with them?
with them like a lot of days we were like practicing 7 hours or six, like at least 6 hours with
Yeah.
Nasser.
Long. Yeah.
But yeah, but I would say like in Endpoint they know how to spend their time, better.
Better.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, like it's like less time, but like it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like
Sure. It's more
you know,
effective.
yeah,
Yeah.
more effective. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
So.
we were like practicing a lot, but like
Mhm.
just scrim, just like this
Sure,
or
yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. So, what does a
yeah.
usual sort of practice look like with an endpoint? Let's say you have practice at midday. What is your usual kind of thing you do with endpoint?
To do an Endpoint, we maybe watch our demos back,
Hmm.
like we what we played in officials,
Sure,
and just like we maybe sometimes we join the server to discuss some stuff that we
sure,
watched, and we just play like scrims.
sure. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Okay, cool. But it's more effective with endpoint than NASA.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's more effective.
sure.
But I don't know about it now. Like they
Yeah.
have Keen now,
Oh,
so
true. Yeah, yeah. No, I
yeah,
did. I saw
like
them
a new agent.
competing in the Calix June Cup, which is the Blast event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the blast event. Yeah,
yeah. And I'm keen to. He seems like a good player. I've seen him about. He was in the UK scene for a little bit as well.
yeah, he's good, IGL.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's good.
What are your thoughts on the Poggers side? You see that with Doc and
Oh yeah,
Nork and yeah, I mean they qualified, so they're looking pretty
yeah.
good.
I think it's like it's hard to play against mixes.
Yeah,
Anything can happen. Like
yeah,
because I would say like they don't have stress at all because like
mhm.
they are just like mix.
Yeah. There's aimers, all of
They
them
just
aimers.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they're just like press W and just like but you are like
yeah,
thinking more and like
hmm
you know I would say like this like it's more comfortable for them.
yeah,
I
exactly.
would say.
Especially when you got players like Doc who just drops like 33 kills
Yeah,
like in a
he
random
dropped.
game.
Yeah, he dropped like 48 kills against Nasser.
Yeah, 40.
No,
Yeah, I mean, what a
yeah,
ridiculous performance. That guy's insane as well. Have you ever played
yeah,
with or against him?
yeah. I played with him and against him,
Mm,
but I like to be honest. I don't know what he's doing. Like why he is not accepting
that's what I
teams
don't know either. Yeah,
or why he left FPL when he was like close to being pro or like getting
hmm
offers. Like I like it's a bit weird for me
yeah.
to be honest.
That's one of the questions that's always kind of like plagued me as well. I don't really know. He's a extremely talented player, and of course, I think even I think it was Blame
Yeah,
F said he's like the player to watch this year. Like he said.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what he's doing, but I mean, hopefully we'll see him in some team at some point.
Hopefully, yeah, really,
Yeah, he's so talented.
yeah, yeah. He's so good, but
Okay,
yeah.
so I won't say who, but someone asked who's your favorite FPL player.
Mm, I didn't play a lot in FPL, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like they were the good players. They were break. Still
Mm-hmm.
I would say. But I played maybe I like to play with Voxic.
Oh, yeah, I
Uh,
mean,
uh,
understandably, yeah. What a
yeah,
guy.
yeah, he's nice guy and he's good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed playing with him, and I don't know another player.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the person who asked that question was Smooya.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. I remember. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I,
Yeah,
I I guess. What do you know Smooya relatively well?
yeah, I know him. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like to play with him as well.
there we go, perfect stuff. So
Yeah,
I guess the last thing is sort of in terms of um the Twitter questions, the last Twitter questions, then
yeah,
we'll move on to the Reddit ones. Is someone
yeah.
asked, how is the team environment in Endpoint different to NASA? I know you mentioned that at the end of NASA you were sort of arguing, but let's avoid that bit. Just in general with NASA, when things are going
Environment
well.
like how? I didn't understand this
Yeah, so like
word. Like how?
how you are as like a team, like what's it like within the team? You know, like fun? Is it like serious? Those kind of things.
Um, I'll
It's
just
the
say it. Yeah, I'll just say. Um, it was fun, of course.
Mm,
I like to play with them. Even
mm,
like my old teammate, you know, like realize we
mm.
stayed like together for more than 2 years, so
Sure, yeah,
we wanted to make it together, but unlucky some stuff happened.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and like it was fun, but like I would say like one guy maybe
yeah. I know what you
that
mean.
one, yeah,
Yeah.
like fucked up the team. I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah, it happens. It happens. And the thing is,
Yeah,
one person has that potential as well to kind
yeah,
of.
and we were like want to kick him, yeah,
Mhm.
but like it was too late, you know. He just fucked
Yeah.
up the mood, like
Ah, yeah, yeah. No, it happens. Like it's
yeah,
just one of the things.
yeah, it
But
happens, of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
but positive things have come from it. So I guess it
yeah,
was a blessing in disguise. You could say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
right.
uh, so there's no one to Reddit. Is Counter Strike coming home?
Counter Strike coming home.
Yeah, that's a
What this
this is
mean?
an English sort of or a UK sort of meme, right? So
Oh,
obviously with like the World Cup and the Euros, there's like a joke
yeah,
that football's coming home, like we're gonna win it and bring it home, the cup.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, I know.
Endpoint asked on Reddit, "Is Counter Strike coming home?"
It is coming home.
There we go.
Don't
There we
worry.
go. That's what we love to hear. This was so another good question. I really enjoyed this one. So describe in one word the other four guys in Endpoint. You got one word to describe each of them.
Mm,
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a tough
the
question.
I don't know.
Don't know. So
They
sort
are
of like
lovely, but
yeah, you got
I don't know what to say.
one word for
Like
each.
I
So
don't.
like so we'll start with Thomas. Go with Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah. What's the first word that
Uh,
comes to your mind with Thomas?
I don't have any words for him. I don't. Nice guy. I don't know.
Nice. Okay, we'll go with that. And then
Yeah, nice guy.
there's Max as well, of course.
Mac. I would say hard worker.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say
Crucial.
crucial. Uh, I don't know. Maybe beast.
Beast. There we go. And then Surreal's the
Yeah.
last one.
Surreal. Uh, like the. I feel like he's the father of Endpoint. You know, like
Ah,
the
there we
player.
go. That's good.
Like
That's good.
yeah,
Um,
maybe.
so someone was asking about at the time. So when I put the post out
Yeah,
on Reddit, your most recent game was against Anonymo, right? And of course, like you seem to have been playing them so recently as well. A lot of these
yeah.
Polish sides, but. What was it like playing against sort of Anonymo, and how did it feel like off the back of that? I know you had a couple of wins and losses against them. So what's it like playing against that side?
We played only one game against Anonymous.
Oh, it was Ego as well, wasn't it? That you played as
Oh
well.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
go. We played like three Polish teams in a row. Like
yeah. That was it.
yeah,
But what was it like
yeah,
after the back of the Anonymo game? Is what this question's asking.
yeah. The Anonymous game was like good. I don't know,
Mm.
like another game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Just any old
nothing
game.
special. Like yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
like I don't have anything.
Yeah. Um, how does it feel to step into the shoes that were kind of left with Messi? I know you mentioned you two play very, very different roles, but how did it feel
Yeah,
like kind of coming into this, knowing that you're filling those boots, and he's obviously like quite a big player.
yeah. It feels good to like join instead of him, of course,
Mhm,
and it feels more better like to play with like known players from
mhm.
EU and
Yeah.
experienced players like everyone in this team, and it just feels amazing
Mhm.
overall.
For you, do you see yourself staying with Endpoint long term, like you know a good few years, grind out with the team, or for you, would you like if you got an opportunity, like for example, you know Flames went to OG, right? If a team
Yeah,
like that came knocking around, would you move on to just keep trying to go as high and high? You know, you said you want to be top 15, top 10 teams. Is that sort of goal for you, trying to push your way forward?
I would say like I would like to not change the team, of
Hmm.
course, and like until now I'm not thinking about that
Yeah.
at all. So I don't know what the like in the future will happen.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, like if we are winning, of course I'm not like not
Mhm.
only winning. Like I don't know if it's
Just
good. You
enjoying it.
know,
Yeah. It's just
yeah, enjoying it, and it's like we are doing good. I not
mhm.
change. Like
Yeah. Exactly that.
yeah.
So, what is the best way that you would kind of give advice to someone? Because so someone was asking if they're like in a rut, so they're not playing well, they're not hitting their shots, kind of like less than they usually would. What's your sort of best way to get back to like your best form?
When I'm not hitting a shots or
Yeah,
something.
like do you know
Yeah.
like maybe you just have a bad game in a series and like
Yeah, yeah,
map
yeah.
number one you just don't perform well. What's like your best way to get out of that?
Yeah, I would just like not think about it
Mm-hmm.
because if you think about it, like imagine in best of three
Mm-hmm.
and you played bad like first map.
Mm-hmm.
If you like keep saying, "Oh my God, I played bad,"
Yeah,
you will play bad all series.
yeah,
All the series. So you just like don't think about it and just like play all. It's best of three. It's not best of one.
exactly.
So you like I don't care about it. And
Yeah,
if I play bad in the best of three, I just go like and just play that match and just come
get back
back
to it. Yeah.
or
So
just watch the game, see what I did
exactly. So do you think it's
mistakes.
quite a lot? It's a mental thing. Like if you believe you're gonna play bad, you will play bad. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I would say if you have a good mentality, you'll
Mm-hmm.
like if you have bad mentality, you will play bad every game. Like
Yeah.
if you say I'm dog shit or
Yeah.
like this player,
Yeah.
yeah, you will be dog shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's just how it is. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So Uh, what is the single most influential kind of piece of advice you've ever been given in CS:GO? Like whoever it's from, whether they're famous or not. Have you ever had any sort of advice that's really helped you as a professional?
Hmm, I don't know. I don't remember. I got some in advice
Mm-hmm.
like about like what? Like
Just in
maybe I
general,
remember.
just to help you going forward. So sometimes people like to think that there's like advice that's helped pros kind of get better at the games, and what people are wondering whether you've ever had any really influential advice.
Maybe not from pro players, but like maybe from friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, maybe don't give up.
Oh
You will
yeah,
make it one day, maybe. And
yeah.
I believe in this thing, and it's my dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I never fucking give up,
Good.
and I just want to make it.
There we go.
And
That's the
that's it.
spirit.
Yeah.
Um, What has been within CS:GO? What has been like your most embarrassing or like worst moment you've ever had that you can think of?
Uh, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I can't even
Honest.
think of what mine is apart from like
Yeah.
going like triple negative in the game. But
Yeah. I don't remember to be honest.
yeah, what's your warm up routine? Obviously, you mentioned it with DM, but do you spend time
Yeah.
in terms of like would you go into like a retake server? Do you spend time practicing utility just on its own, or is it just always
Yeah.
gonna be that 1 hour of DM?
Um. Yeah. Like there are some people like they like to play surf or like play this kind
Yeah.
of things, but I like to play maybe just like inputs
Mm-hmm.
or like I like to warm up in inputs. Just to
Yeah.
warm up because that it's warm up. There is something like to improve. Like I
Mm-hmm.
would like to set a goal like
Sure.
play this
Sure.
match and get 1000 kill. To just
Mm-hmm.
improve. And there just warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Warm
Yeah.
up like just play against boss just like reflex, like to be
Yes. Yeah.
warmed up. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think that's probably a pretty standard one, but it works. It's effective.
Yeah.
What do you think about players like Zywu? He never ever does DM. Did you
Yeah.
hear about this? It's like that was crazy to
I
me. He never does DM. He just jumps
yeah.
straight into FPL and then drops like 30 kills.
Yeah, I heard about this, but I don't know. I think it's lie. Like it's impossible. Like I think he play a lot of surf or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I saw him in streams sometimes, and I don't know. It's like impossible
There's
like to
no way,
play like
right?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. Like no,
It's just an animal,
I
but
don't
like
know.
he never ever DMs apparently, which is just kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
it's so weird. Like he's just talented.
Yeah, I mean, what a guy. Last
Yeah,
last question as well. What,
yeah.
in your opinion, what would your advice be to a kind of a newer player or like someone trying to make it to that pro level in terms of improving and getting better? What would your advice be?
Uh, my advice would be just like play like don't just change your settings like to pro settings or things like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, because I used to do it a lot.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
been there as
and
well.
yeah, everyone been there.
Yeah,
So just don't change your settings and
hmm
just like keep playing and the grinding,
it's
and
grinding.
you will
Yeah,
get it. Like it's not possible. Just you need to play, and it
Mhm.
needs time,
Yeah,
and
well,
that's it.
there we go. Wow, thank you very much for joining me, Boris. It's been an absolute
No
pleasure.
problem.
We've
Thank you.
covered a decent amount of ground. Of course, best of luck at LAN. Is it? You said it's a
Yeah,
week's time now, right? Until LAN.
yeah. Until week. No, like it's after 2 weeks, but
Mhm.
I will go before, because I'm
Yes.
not
Yeah.
vaccinated. So
Oh,
I'll
right.
just
Yes. Yeah.
go in a room, and
Hmm.
stay
And
there.
then you can play CS:GO all day. I mean,
Yeah, I can play CS all
got
day.
no
Yeah,
excuse. Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. So well,
I like it.
thank you very much for
Yeah.
joining me. It's been a pleasure. Finally found the time to
Thank
do
you.
it as well, and I'm glad
Me
you came
too.
along. And thank you
Nice to
everyone
meet you.
at home as well for watching. And of course, this will go out for us in a couple of days' time. So perfectly done. But thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure, and well, enjoy the rest of your
Thank
days.
you, guys.